What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got something a little bit different for you today. Redoing my 12 volt system in the Canopy. So I had a bit of a mixed match of different products in there before. I had a Enerdrive DC-DC, Victron MPPT, and then just a eBay 8-gang switch panel. All worked as it should. Didn't have any issues with any of the products, but what I wanted was basically to trickle charge my start battery when I'm not using the car, because I'll go weeks without starting the car when I'm at work. So I was looking at putting a relay or a switch system in that would automatically do that, but then saw that Red Arc released the Alpha system, so that was just come out in I think March this year. So I was looking at getting the Red Arc Alpha system, but I didn't want to pay $4,000 for that. So put a post on one of the 12 volt Facebook pages, and Adam from Simply Solve Caravans replied to my comment and said that Renogy just launched their new Smart Vision System. So I suppose it goes without saying, 300 subscribers. I'm obviously not sponsored. They didn't give me any of the gear or pay me to say anything. So yeah, it's all paid out of my own pocket. Hard to believe with 300 subscribers, I know, but anyway. So yeah, Adam hit me up and said, look, this has just come out. So I think there's 20 or so in Australia, most of them going into caravans, pre-built. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of the first systems in Australia. So I figured I'd redo the whole system, go full Renogy, test it out, and let you know how it goes. So this is the new headboard. So got a bit of 3mm alley cut to match the headboard profile. So that's the smart distribution box, the Renogy DC-DC, the Rover MPPT, and the 2000 watt inverter. That's the Smart Vision screen. So that's the touch screen that you can control everything. And then over on here, this is just a little corner piece, which is going to sit over here. So I've got my light control, a couple of USBs, and the Renogy core. So this is this is essentially the brains of the system. This talks to the smart distribution box, but I'll run through that a bit later once I get it all set up and running. But yeah, we'll take you along the build and we'll see you then. I won't run you through how I've crimped everything. There's plenty of good YouTube videos out there on how to crimp Anderson lugs and different terminals and whatnot. But I will run you through what cable sizes I've used and how I've terminated everything, just to give you a couple ideas. One thing I would recommend is draw it out on a bit of scrap paper. I'll put this up on the screen just so you can see how I've wired everything. Because yeah, by writing it down, you can definitely plan everything a bit better than doing it on the fly. But I'll run you through the cable sizes, what I've used, and this goes without saying, I'm not an electrician. So I have researched what to use where, but happily to take any feedback. If I have done something wrong, I'd rather know before I burn the car down. But I think I've done everything right. So I'll start off with the DC-DC. It's about a 5 meter run from the crank battery into the Canopy. I've used 4 AWG cable there, which should be good for 100 amps. Print out the Enerdrive cable chart. That's by far the best cable diagram out there. Shows you what current at what length. It's just the easiest to look at. Don't have to look anywhere else for one of them. But yeah, DC-DC, I've got 4 AWG cable, 70 amp fuse at the start battery, and the 60 amp fuse in the MIDI fuse after it comes out of the DC-DC before it gets to the start battery. Then the MPPT, I've got a 250 watt solar panel up on the roof. I've got 8 AWG cable there, which should be good for 40 amp. Again, that's got a 30 amp MIDI fuse. Coming into the actually, before I go on, the new regulations, and I don't know if it's WA or Australia, you are supposed to be able to isolate your solar. I've put it on a circuit breaker, It's just easy. You can flip. I know a lot of people say that they will trip prematurely. I had a 200 amp, I had a 100 amp, a 70 amp circuit breaker in the engine bay on my last setup. Didn't trip once, never any problems with it. I'm running that again. If it starts tripping, I'll change it out. But anyway, I've got a 30 amp circuit breaker there for the solar, so I can isolate it. And I'm trying to stay legal where I can. So that runs into the MPPT, and then the output through the MIDI fuse block into the battery. So that's all fused. All right, and the smart distribution box, I've got the same 8 AWG cable running into it. Believe that's the biggest that you can get to fit these terminals. You can run 2 cables into it. There's 8 10 amp outputs available, and there's another 4 20 amp channels available. I'm using the 8 10 amp channels at the moment. Don't have any use for the 20 amp channels. They're running, so what I'm running out of that is my pump, fridge. I'm going to put a second fridge for drinks in there. Internal lights, the roof lights on the canopy, a couple of USBs, rooftop tent power, and I'm looking at putting another light on the back of the canopy where the drawers pull out, because that's where I do all my cooking on that pull out drawer system. So yeah, it's quite handy to cook on that. Yeah, so out of that smart box, if I had all appliances running, which I never would, I'd have about 30 amp of current pulling through there, and that's well below the 8 AWG cable that I've run into there. The good thing about the smart box is it's all internally fused, which is handy. All right, obviously got the bus bar mounted here, which runs through to the Renogy Shunt. The good thing about having everything with one system is they all talk to each other. So the DC to DC, the MPPT, the inverter, and the core system, they all plug into this into the smart box, so they can all communicate, and you can see what everything's pulling, what's going in, all from the core system. And then you've got a DC home app to monitor via Bluetooth as well. The Smart Vision screen needs its own power source, so I've put a second another blade fuse holder there. So I've got power running from the MIDI fuse to the blade box, and then power from the blade fuse box to the Smart Vision. From that, I've also got some USBs on this side of the headboard, so the other side of the canopy. That'll get power from there. It's all fused. They'll have constant power, so I won't switch them, but these ones will be switched because I can obviously switch them from the same side. But yeah, these USB chargers actually have a button to turn them on and off, so there'll be constant power there, but they'll be off when I'm not using them. And then if I do need to use that side, obviously open them up, turn them on. How I've wired up this headboard, it's all able to be pre-wired out of the car and then lifted in and bolted up, and then everything's on either Anderson plugs or Deutsch plugs. Obviously don't need the waterproof for inside the canopy, but super convenient. Those Deutsch pins are awesome, really easy to use, pretty foolproof as well. So yeah, I've got the 120 amp Anderson for the alternator input, and then 50 amp Anderson for the solar, and the Deutsch pins for all the accessories. But that'll probably wrap it up for today. I'm going to install this, and then I'll pick the camera back up once it's all in and I start setting up, and I'll take you through what I think. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back. It's the next day now. I honestly thought it was going to be a quick 3 hours in the morning to get everything mounted and wired up. But anyway, it's it's now 4 p.m. So took a little bit longer than I thought. Another big day. But yeah, she's all in now. I'll give you a quick rundown on the Smart Vision system, and let me know what you think. So that's the Smart Vision itself. I can power the fridge, 2 fridges, USBs, rooftop tent, interior lights, yada yada. Fresh water tank sensor, which is real handy. Got 40 litre headboard water tank in the headboard. So now I can actually see how much water I've got left in there. Would love to be able to change that image, because obviously I'm driving a Colorado, not a van, even though she's a big girl. Would like to change that. And I can control the inverter from this side as well. So yeah, that's the new Smart Vision screen. I've just got it mounted up on a little alley panel that I got bent up. Still allows me to drag all my bags out. And this is the one core. So this is basically the brains of the operation. It communicates with everything. But yeah, I can see what the shunt and what the battery's doing. I'm having a few issues adding I want to add the DC to DC and MPPT. I can't seem to get them to connect at the moment, but they're still working, doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'd just like to be able to see what they're doing here. Obviously, if I come over here, turn my USBs on, I can then come back to here, and I've got power to these, which is good. And then interior lights, I've got the hardcore lights, but I can turn these on. Control all them now, which is good. But yeah, I'll probably jump around the other side, show you what I've got on the other side, and let you know what my thoughts are. All right, this is around the other side. Got the Renogy 200 amp hour Pro lithium phosphate battery, 2000 watt inverter. Got the 2 watt cable, positive and negative, running to the shunt. And I've got a 200 amp hour fuse connecting this here. Like I said before, I can switch that from the One Vision screen. That's the smart distribution box. So up in here, there's all your fuses. I've just got all the fuses loaded up because they're always handy to have as spares, regardless if you use them. I also got the Renogy DC to DC mounted up here. So blue lithium profile, green means battery's charged. That'll light up when the solar's going in, and the alternator's still lit up because I've got I just had the car running before, so it's still trickling in a bit of charge from the alternator. Great thing about this is that when the start battery starts to get low, it'll trickle charge the start battery, so pretty keen to see that in action. That's the reason I've got the solar running through this. And then the Rover, which is the 30 amp MPPT right here, I've got a 50 amp Anderson plug here, and I can just run a solar blanket to power that. So yeah, I really wanted to use the solar on the roof to triple charge the start battery through the DC to DC, and then this is just excess. If I'm parked up in the shade, I can run the old solar blanket out and top the battery up that way. So yeah, that's what that's for. Inverter, don't really have a use for it at the moment. I am looking at getting induction, and I'll jump around the other side to show you what I think there. So the reason I got the inverter is so that I am looking at getting an induction cooktop put in the Canopy. So I do prefer to cook with the campfire, but obviously if there's a total fire ban or you're in a national park which doesn't allow you to have that open fire, you obviously still can use gas. But yeah, I do want to look at getting the induction cooked up. So what I've done is I've packed the fridge up on some 65 by 65 alley box section, and I'll just spin the camera around. So I'm looking at putting some 450mm long draw runners under here, and then I can slide that out, have an alley top here, and I'll just recess in a little induction cooker. So
that's the plan for the future of the Canopy. I actually ordered 500mm long draw runners, but because I added a brace in there, it's or right at the back, it doesn't actually, they're a little bit too long. So yeah, I'm looking at getting some shorter runners, putting an alley top on, and then potentially recessing or flush mounting a induction cooker in there. So if you've got any recommendations on what induction to run, yeah, looking at a few different options, the Westinghouse and the potentially even the Kick-Ass, which looks pretty clean. It's nice and slimline. But yeah, I'll let you know how I go with the whole Renogy system. So far, everything's working as it, most of it's working as it should. All the switches are working. Would like to get the core to communicate with the DC to DC and MPPT, just so I can see exactly what each unit's doing. But yeah, we'll troubleshoot that in due course. But yeah, I'll keep you updated with the system, and if you've got any questions, just leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. See ya.